So I'm excited to talk to you about this book because I literally just finished reading it, like on Saturday, and today's Monday. And it's been hard to read during the quarantine for me a little bit, just so much going on, and by the time I get in bed, I'm so exhausted. But this is a book I wanted to read forever. This book is called Punk Rock Dad, and it's written by Jim Lindberg, which is right there. And if you don't know who that is, Jim Lindberg's this lead singer of a band called Pennywise, which is a punk band that started in California in the 90s. Maybe even, I'm pretty sure it was early 90s, but could have been late 80s maybe. But so I don't know Pennywise's music that well, to be honest, but I do love punk rock and have loved punk rock since the early 90s. And the way I came to find out about this book is there's a documentary called The Other F Word, and it's about punk rock musicians who became fathers, and they're kind of trying to balance that idea of the sort of the freedom, the almost anarchy or nihilism of punk rock with the responsibility and maturity of being a dad, and how that transition's kind of difficult. And the documentary had a lot of great musicians. Had Fat Mike from NoFX, had Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And it was, and it had a lot of Jim Lindberg. Afterwards, I discovered that it was kind of based off of this book. And so this book, I mean, you have to know that it's going to have language in this book. There's quite a bit of language. And there are times where Jim Lindberg comes across as somewhat immature. But I think that what he's really doing, and doing so well, is highlighting the struggle to transition from a single or a young married person with all the freedom in the world, and him even more so, being a lead singer of a punk rock band where he's expected to party and act out, to becoming a responsible and mature. I kind of combine those. A responsible and mature father and husband, who really does a wonderful job loving on his kids, loving his wife, still being himself, which is still a punk rocker, but also being the kind of husband and father that that the world needs more of. And he talks about that struggle of, the decadent lifestyle at times of rock stars, as opposed to the sort of humbling experience of changing a blowout diaper. And it's really a good book. It's touching and in a lot of ways encouraging to sort of figure out how do you strike that balance to stay yourself while becoming someone new. And I think that he does a very good job of showing that responsibility, and being real. Most of us, if we wrote a book like this, would try and cover up our flaws and our foibles and stuff like that. He puts them on display, and I think that makes this that much better of a book. So the book is called Punk Rock Dad, and the subtitle here is No Rules, Just Real Life. And it's by Jim Lindberg, and I hope that you get a chance to pick it up.